Today we're going to talk about bearing maintenance. This is basically a short video on cleaning and re-lubing your bearings. The two bearings we're going to use for demonstration are a metal sealed bearing, which obviously the seal cannot be removed. It's not intended to be removed. And this has the rubber nylon seal that can be removed. This is a black, similar to the orange, yellow, green, and the red seal bearings. These are Boca bearings. The products that we're going to use are Lightning Lube Clean Touch. This is a Boca bearing product. Lightning Lube Bearing Soak, and their high-speed oil. The items we need to do this job: a small cup, which you will use to drop your bearings in, which we'll use to fill it with the Clean Touch or the bearing soak, and a hobby knife. This is used to remove the bearing seal on the removable seal bearing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do that. We're going to remove this seal, and to do so you have to catch an edge inside, and once you feel it pop, it's a little difficult to do. There you go. The seal comes right off, exposes the bearing. There's no damage to the seal. You can reuse it. If not, I know Boca Bearing supplies these seals. I know with the orange seal bearings, they're free. You just got to contact them, and I'm almost sure with the black ones it is the same as with their red, green seal bearings. Second thing is to flip it around and do the same on the opposite side. Catch that seal and remove it. And there's like you can feel the lube on that opposite side. This is the seal side. This is the bearing side. Next thing is we're going to take some bearing soak, and we're going to add some into our cup. And I put just enough where we can actually soak the bearing and get it clean. Second thing is to take this Clean Touch. Clean Touch removes all the residues and product or oils that are inside the bearing itself prior to soaking. So what you want to do is take that Clean Touch and just let it get in there. Doesn't need much. Let it work its way in there. Remove all that. Kind of breaks down that oils, greases, whatever. There's dirt in there. It will remove it. I don't have an can of air, compressed air with me. I wished I did to do this video, but it's a good idea to use that. Blow all that out and get any leftover hair, or there might be a piece of dirt, something in there that's going to bind with that bearing in there. It's going to cause it to, just interfere basically with the race. You don't want anything in there. So for intensive purposes, this has already been blown out. We're going to drop it in that bearing soak and just let it sit in there. Now for the seal bearing, it's a little different. Typically, nothing's going to get inside that race. Anything on the outside edges, you could probably get out with the razor, a small piece of, again, hair, some kind of fabric or something gets in there. You can 9 times out of 10 you can pull those things right out and just pick them out. Just as a bearing maintenance, soak that bearing in this lightning lube bearing soak. It's kind of hard to say lightning lube several times. It's a tongue twister. Anyway, this has to soak for 5 minutes, they recommend. So just to speed the process up with a video for intensive purposes, this has been soaked, time elapsed, we'll say 5 minutes. So once that's complete, you want to take the bearings out. You want to dry them, outside edges, whatever, and remove any excess oil that's on there. Next thing you do is get your syringe ready so you can re-oil the exposed bearing. Now again, for just video purposes, this bearing has been blown dried. And his next step is ready for some lubrication. This bearing, however, because it's sealed, you're not going to really get to it. The benefits of the bearing soak is once you take that out, you can use that as is. Drop your bearings right back in, and these bearings will spin free. They're actually lubricated. So our next step is to take this bearing, and we're going to put a drop of oil here, here, and maybe one small drop here, and we'll rotate the bearing, and that's good enough. Now I use 2 drops on opposite sides. Let me shut this down. And take the bearing, spin it, get that oil worked around. Now that you have the oil worked generously through the bearing, you can reinstall the seals, which are real easy to install. They just press back in. Take the second one, back side, press it back in. And that bearing's ready to go. It's that simple. This bearing, the metal seal bearing, has already been soaked in the Boca Bearing Lightning Lube bearing soak, and I can already feel the difference. I mean, it's pretty quick. So I can give a drop of the high-speed oil and let it just sit right on that race, on that seal, work its way in there. Clear the syringe, close it off. It's worked its way in there. Give it a couple of spins. Work that oil around. Actually put that on your inner finger and just keep spinning it. Any excess, wipe off the excess. You have just cleaned your bearings, soaked them, use a clean touch, use the bearing soap, high-speed oil, and your bearings are ready to go again for reinstallation. It's that simple. Right now, there's a web offer. I believe you can buy 2 and get 1 free. That's a heck of a deal. Heck of a deal. You don't use a lot of it, and the rest you can put right back into the canister that it comes with. It comes with the pumps, the caps, so you can just put back what you don't use and reuse it again. It's good to go. But anyway, hope you guys get something out of this video, and keep your helis flying high.